Dun, 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 dun. Ain't I great? Dun, 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 dun. I always, it's too early in the video. I always despise Jeff Jarrett. The number one person in the history of this industry I never liked. Could not. There's the I want to say the H word, but I gotta wait. I think a few minutes. But I always hey Ted Jeff Jarrett. He is the definition of mid card. I don't care what no one says. His career is a failure. Why? He always tried to go above what he ever could pull off. Jeff Jarrett was a better version of The Miz, and that's not a compliment. Jeff Jarrett was the first Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Jeff Jarrett was someone who was always delusional. He always thought he was a top guy. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's my damn camera? There it goes. Oh. Will I ever get a new hat? Hit the like button. This olive background. Whatever. I never liked Jeff Jarrett. Could not stand him. The fact that Vince Russo always had a hard on for Jeff Jarrett, I never understood it. What did Vince Russo see in him? And I'm not the only one who thought in this fashion. Many of you, many people who viewed. The only people that like Jeff Jarrett are delusional TNA fans who are going to that damn barn house in the asylum. Oh my God. Man, he stole Kurt Angle's wife. He stole Kurt Angle's wife. Couldn't sell tickets. Never drew a dime. Never drew a dime. Never drew a dime. Whatever happened to that guy? But he failed to be a draw. He failed to make, he was so desperate to make TNA. WCW 2 failed. Is he still getting booked on primetime in AEW? Oh my God. I don't understand a company that would get. Why would you hire Jeff Jarrett unless it's to be a jobber? Let's look at, according to Google, because Google is so smart. When I typed in Jeff Jarrett failed career, you know what Google says? No, Jeff Jarrett's career was not a failure. Okay, thank you. No, Jeff Jarrett's career was not a failure. He's a decorated world champion and Hall of Fame. Oh my God. Google. I'm switching to DuckDuckGo or some Google. Google mine. It's ridiculous. Career controversies. His reign of terror. Failure. That early 2000s when in the quote-unquote two main companies, your only options were Triple H or Jeff Jarrett. Oh my God. Oh. The amount of talents that got stifled. AJ Styles. Monty Brown. Rhino. Who else? Wasn't there some guy named Titan or Tron or something? Whatever. But no. Jeff Jarrett, he has to be the founder. The founder. Jeff Jarrett, the founder. Double J, the founder. He frequently held the NWA World title. The fact that Jeff Jarrett, I never liked when he was the Intercontinental Champion. He tanked the Intercontinental title. Died when he won it. When did he first win it? 94, 95? Before him, the Intercontinental title, didn't Pat Patterson win it at a Diddy party in the 70s? So Pat Patterson, and then Tito Santana, the Flying Burrito. McMahon, the Flying Burrito, Tito's. Oh man, Jesse Ventura is still shaking this day. To this day, Jesse Ventura is still shaking to this day. Oh, he's shaking and stirred. Okay, you had Tito Santana, Savage, Henning, Rude, Warrior. Warrior was a massive star, you marks. Shawn Michaels, when he had that damn dusty mullet. Bret Hart. Razor Ramon. And then at some point, the belt falls in the hands of JEFF. JARR. Why? Wasn't he riding a pony to the ring in like '98? Why did Russo love Jarrett so much? I've never got that. The fact that the fact that his name is in the WCW title history, and Russo had to put the belt on himself. Look, you know what? I don't give a damn what no one says. Russo was a better WCW champion than Jeff Jarrett. That's how deep my hatred goes. But David Arquette was a better world champion than Jeff Jarrett. They should. I'd rather have Van Hammer. I'd rather they made in 2000 rather than Jeff Jarrett. I'd rather they gave the belt to the Renegade. I don't give a damn. Norman Smiley or Smiley or whatever that was. Oh, I always hated him too, Norman Smiley. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but just as far as I didn't like his character, I didn't like the fact that I didn't like him. I didn't like it. Okay, I always wish New Jack would have got signed to just beat him to death with a guitar and a stable gun. Damn. Of all the craziness in WCW 2000, they couldn't get New Jack in there. Thank you, Kevin Nash. Oh, I never had a problem with New Jack. He's black, but I'm Big Kev. And, New Jack is black, or I guess he was black. He's gone with my buddy Scott. But, Jesus Christ, this video's gone off the rails. But I never had a problem with New Jack. A lot of people tell me that from the waist down, I'm black. Kevin Nash quote, "The fact that Jarrett's name is in the title history of WCW's world title and the NWA title, it disgusts me with this business. But this video... We're about to go to this video. One moment. What the hell's going on? This video, here we go. This is a video from a few months ago on the classic XDN Sports Channel, where Jeff Jarrett was getting buried, never drew a dime, by Austin and Bobby the Brain Heenan. This is one of my best videos ever. So check this out. If you want to support the channel, you can donate to the Cash App. The new Cash App is XDN Wins. If you have a video request, if you like to request another Jeff Jarrett rant, hit the Cash App. I'm not a Puerto Rican. I don't do $5 videos. Jeff Jarrett, why does he exist? I don't understand it, man. The greatest manager in wrestling history, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Quick-witted, tremendously comical, great villain, a weasel. But Bobby Heenan, when his time came to an end as a manager and even as an announcer, which is when WCW closed, Heenan did a lot of interviews. He did interviews with Meltzer. He did interviews with this place, that place, and including writing his own book. And post WCW, he was very critical of being in WCW. He believed they're unprofessional. They were never encouraging you, telling you if you did a good job or not. A lot of times they would not let the announcers know what was about to happen on the show. It was a mess that he detailed in great detail. Anyway, but in Bobby Heenan's book, there's a section of the chapter where he talks about his WCW run, and he gets to the point where he starts talking about WCW around 99, 2000. And he starts mentioning Jeff Jarrett. Now, anybody who knows me knows the number one person in wrestling history that I hate, it's Double J, it's JEFF, JARR, ETT. Ain't I great? Shut up. I never liked Jarrett. He's the number one person in the history of wrestling I do not like. Do not. The man stole Kurt Angle's wife. The man stole the honky-tonk man's gimmick with that guitar. He had the guitar first. But speaking of that guitar, Jarrett, well, one day I'm going to do a rant on Jeff Jarrett. But to this day, I cannot stand him. Oh, let me not get started on my dislike for him. Let me just get to Heenan's words. Oh Lord. Now Jeff Jarrett, when he got to the WWF, I want to say he got to WWF. I want to say it was 94. I want to say mid 90s. Obviously Jeff Jarrett. He grew up in the Memphis territory. His daddy Jerry was running it. But he gets to the WWF, and in the early 90s, Jeff Jarrett was seen as, someone who had a lot of potential. I don't know who saw that. And he was one of the, obviously, he was the son of a famous wrestler promoter. Around that time is when you had like Eric Watts. How did that work? You had Dustin Runnels, Dustin Rhodes, whatever the hell his name is, Gold Dust, and Jarrett, and so on and so forth. But Jeff Jarrett gets to WWF, and he gets this goofy gimmick where his jacket lights up, and he's riding a horse to the ring, and spend my time working hard on the go, because then shut up. And then it turns out the real Double J was Jesse James, the Road Dogg. But that's another story another day. My God, WWF had some horrible gimmicks and angles in 94, 95, including Jeff Jarrett, the roadie. So Jarrett has a whole gimmick. He's a country singer, whatever. And then Jeff Jarrett, when it comes to the Monday Night Wars, he's one of these people, nobody gave a damn about him. Okay? 1 minute, Jarrett's in WWF, and then he jumps to WCW, then he jumps back, then he jumps back. Nobody was like, please, Jeff, please stay. Jeff Jarrett was the wrestler version of Cornette. I've documented on this channel, Jim Cornette loves to rant and rave, and he talks bad about everybody, but every company he was in, they let him walk or fired him. I'm fixing to go to Louisville. Okay, Jim. Hey, Jim Hurd, I'm fixing to leave. Okay, Jim. Hey, Vince McMahon, I'm fixing to leave. Okay, Jim. Hey, Dixie Carter, I'm fixing to leave. Okay, Jim. They just let him go. Same thing with Jeff Jarrett. Nobody gave a damn. 97, 98, 99. Nobody cared if Jarrett was there or left. Jeff Jarrett, man. The Monday Night War is known for the ship jumps. Jericho, Luger, Hall, Nash, so on and so forth. Didn't nobody give a damn when Jeff Jarrett debuted on the other show? Nobody. Jeff Jarrett was the first Miz. That might be a video real soon. It might be a poll and a video. Who was better? Who was better, Jeff Jarrett or the Miz? Now that's a hell of a debate. That's a debate right there. But Jarrett, he I guess he loses his singer gimmick, and he's in WCW, and he's wearing these like Chippendale. He's still wearing this goofy 80s looking gimmick, and he has this fluffy blonde hair. Oh my God, oh God. And then he jumps to WWF, and then he cuts his hair, and don't piss me off, and he has Southern Justice, and he has his guitar, and then he's beating China or whatever, and then China beats him, and then he jumps to WCW, and then Russo, for some reason, the only true genius in this business, Vince Russo, Vince Russo, for some reason, he always had this soft spot for Double J. Why? I never understood, why does Russo love Jarrett so much? Now, they've had a falling out like 15 years ago, 10, whatever, who cares? But I never understood that. So when Vince Russo leaves and goes to WCW, Jarrett leaves around the same time, and that was a controversy. And then Jarrett debuts, and his whole thing is he's the chosen one. So, oh God. So, in WWF, the chosen one was The Rock. So WCW's chosen one is Jeff Jarrett. I mean, my God, I'm sorry. It's November of 1999. If you had a wrestling company, who would you rather have, The Rock or Jeff Jarrett? Right. So WCW's chosen one is Jeff Jarrett, and then he brings his little guitar gimmick back, and his gimmick is he smashes everyone in the head with a guitar. Now, there is the famous WCW, I want to say WWE did the rise and fall of WCW, and I think Mike Graham? He was like, Jeff Jarrett broke 10,000 guitars, never drew a dime, 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 never drew a dime. There's a lot of reverb and echo. And that's like a legendary soundbite in internet wrestling. Never drew a dime. And then Mike Graham pulled out a knife and put it to Benoit's throat. Now they both dead. I didn't kill him. Hit the like button. But damn, Benoit gone, Mike Graham gone, but Jeff Jarrett still alive on AEW. Still alive doing shit podcasts with Conman Thompson. How are you? How are you, Double J? I just got off the phone with Flair. He's at the bar. So we're going to have to cut today's episode short. But how are you? Boomer sooner. Save with Conrad. man, Conrad Thompson is built like Paul Bearer in 98. Anyway, when he had the reconciliation with The Undertaker. Oh my Lord. What is this video about? Jeff Jarrett, right. He's so memorable. I forgot what the video I'm doing on him is about. So anyway, Jarrett broke 1,000 guitars, and we all know that. But Bobby Heenan's book, he some reason he talks about Jeff Jarrett, which is kind of funny because Heenan, of his whole career, you never think of like Jeff Jarrett and Heenan. But Bobby Heenan made a point to say that because he was talking about like Goldberg and how they like ruined him and things like that. So he says Jeff Jarrett, basically in his book, he said, he liked Jeff Jarrett. I guess he was a nice guy, whatever. But he said Jarrett smashed 10 million guitars and stuff. He smashed 1,000 guitars over people's heads. It never got him over. After a while, it got no real reaction. It served no purpose. What was the point? Actually, this is why I brought up Jarrett. I forgot this. He was talking about, this is what it was. I'm not editing for you people. Heenan was talking about how much he disliked Tony Schiavone. He's talking about the announcers. Oh my God. There's a part of the book where Heenan just buries Lee Marshall, aka Tony the Tiger. He wasn't great in WCW. So he's talking about how Lee Marshall was terrible, and I think he said he wanted to fight him or something. Like he actually wanted to swing on Lee Marshall during like live broadcast. Anyway, a nitro party, Tony. We're having a nitro party, and my dick is up. Like Lee Marshall was garbage. I think he's dead too. I ain't kill him. But so Heenan was talking about how horrible Schiavone was. But then he said he loved Mike Tenay. Mike Tenay was a nice guy. Mike Tenay would be well-researched. He knew everything about luchadors and cruiserweights and Japs. And then he said, because I don't remember this, but Heenan, the reason he brought up Jarrett actually was, he said apparently they did an angle, and it had to be 2000 probably. Yeah, 2000 I think. And he said there was an angle where Jarrett broke a guitar over Mike Tenay's head. And it was just, for some reason, Russo had this thing of, well, to get Jarrett over, he just smashes everyone with a guitar. So I guess in Russo's mind, Jarrett, if you piss him off, him smashing a guitar is like Austin hitting everybody with the stunner. Like Jeff Jarrett's guitar smash is like the ultimate like punishment. And it never got him over. So Jarrett hit women with it, announcers with it, cripples with it, the Beetlejuice with it, not Michael Keaton, but the other Beetlejuice with it. He hit everybody. And then Heenan hilariously said, Jarrett went through more guitars than Johnny Cash. And it never got him over. To me, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Jeff Jarrett. He's the definition of mediocre. He's the definition of average. He's not a top guy. Jarrett jumped company to company. Nobody cared if he was there or not. Nobody cared if he left or not. He kept fishing to be a top guy. Well, guess what? In 99, Jarrett was trying so hard. Come on, Russo. Let me work with Austin. Austin did not like Jeff Jarrett. Now, The reason Austin did not like Jarrett is because when Austin was in Memphis, Jarrett's daddy had horrible payoffs. So Austin was basically eating out the garbage. Okay, he was making potatoes and rice every night. So that's why Austin didn't like Jarrett. They've made up since. Austin made up with everybody because he made so much money. He's like, F it. I like everybody now. I'm rich. I got over. I'm a legend. So I don't have to hate anyone anymore. You know, Austin can actually move on from a grudge, unlike Vince McMahon, Triple H, other people. But that's why Austin didn't like Jarrett. He remembered those horrible payoffs and horrible paydays in Memphis territory when Austin was coming up before he got to WCW. But then Austin also realized what I just said. Jarrett was not a top-level guy. Everything about Jeff Jarrett is mediocre. It's like the Nash promo when they did the NWO parody, when Nash was like doing the Arn Anderson, I have average carpentry skills, average size, average ability. Yeah, that's Jeff Jarrett. It should have been about Jeff Jarrett. Just average. So Austin was not going to work with him. Austin in 98, he's working with Tyson. First of all, forget 98. 96, 97, Austin's working with Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels. 97, 98, Shawn Michaels, Tyson, Vince, Undertaker, Kane. And then in 99, Mick Foley, Rock. But then in the summer, you want him to drop to facing Jeff Jarrett? Hell no. And people don't even realize this. For some reason, Russo in the summer of 99, he had this thing where he wanted Austin and Jarrett, and then when Austin said basically no, then Russo's next idea was, let's have Austin and Billy Gunn. And then Austin was like, hell no. And then for some reason he's like, okay, Rock Billy Gunn. And then The Rock did it, but The Rock did not want to work with Billy Gunn. But I'll say this. I think the big reason Rock did not want to work with Billy Gunn is because Road Dogg and The Rock had a lot of heat backstage because Road Dogg was jealous of Rock. But The Rock did steal one of The Rock's catchphrases. I think if you smell, that was actually a Road Dogg catchphrase in Memphis when they were coming up. So there was some weird heat there. But the Road Dogg later on did admit he was very jealous of The Rock and he was very insecure of The Rock. But, they moved past that and they shook hands and took a picture on Instagram, as you do. But Jeff Jarrett is just... This guy, he was so desperate to become a main eventer, not realizing he doesn't have the tools. And then when he finally became a main eventer in WCW, he looked like a mid-carder with Goldberg's belt. Why is this? When Jeff Jarrett won the WCW title 5 times in like 6 months. Why? Every time he had the belt, it's like, why is Jeff Jarrett wearing Goldberg's belt? Why is Jeff Jarrett wearing Ric Flair's belt? Why is Jeff Jarrett wearing... Why? Why? And it equaled nothing. No ratings bump for his quarter hours. No ticket sales. No merchandise hike. Jeff Jarrett is not a top guy. Bobby Heenan, he smashed more guitars and went through more guitars than Johnny Cash. Rest the soul of Bobby Heenan. Damn, Heenan gone. Mike Graham gone. Hogan gone. WCW gone. Jeff Jarrett's still alive. With that said, hit the like button. I'm up out of here. What are your thoughts on this? Right before I made this video, I was watching a Sunday Night Heat episode from like June of 99. And for some reason, I don't know why I did this. I was watching it on this YouTube. I clicked on the comment section and I'm just scrolling and people like, man, I miss wrestling in the 90s, man. WWF is so great. And then one of the comments on this Heat video in June of 99 said, Jeff Jarrett's my favorite wrestler. And I said, why is Jeff Jarrett using burner accounts? Anyway, follow me on Instagram at XDNOnline. Like the video, share the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not. Share this video. Tag other wrestling channels to this video so I can steal their subscribers so I can build the channel even more. I'm up out of here, and that is it.